Do you feel like you don't speak enough Dutch? That you need to know more words? Then stick around. With these lessons, you'll pick up some of the most common words in just a few minutes. Now, this video is a small portion of our learning program. To get the full lessons, translations, and Fluency Fast study tools, click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account. You've decided to study a new language, so now what? Well, you want to become fluent fast, right? Here are the top 5 shortcuts to learning a language. Number 1, create a study schedule and set some goals. Many language learners are unorganized. Creating a schedule allows you to free up time to study consistently. Goals give you motivation and something to strive for. Number 2, make it fun. If you learn how to make your study time enjoyable, chances are you'll be more inclined to study. Watch a TV show with subtitles or listen to some music. Number 3, find a language partner. This is the best way to improve your conversation skills. It will help you gain fluency even faster and increase confidence when speaking. Number 4, use word lists to build up a solid vocabulary. This is a great way to build up your fluency, one word at a time. Luckily, we have all the word lists you need, with a range of topics, from food to love. Choose whichever language you want to study and go. Number 5, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Nothing helps you improve more than correcting your own errors. You're more likely to remember it correctly the next time around. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't be afraid to learn from them. There's no magical way to learn a new language overnight, but doing all of these can really help your learning process. And remember, if you're interested in getting on the fast track to fluency, sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. Start learning now. Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5,
Get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better. Follow these steps and have patience. You'll soon be able to achieve your language learning goals. Just make sure to remember these 4 methods. Sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start learning more every day.
Hallo allemaal, ik ben Gabriella. Hi everybody, I'm Gabriella. Welcome to DutchPod101.com's Nederlands in 3 minuten. The fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Dutch. In the last lesson, we learned how to use the verb komen. We will now jump into our lessons dedicated to question words in Dutch. The first is one of the most commonly used question words, and it is what. You'll see that in Dutch, it's actually very similar to English, wat. So, imagine you want to ask your friend, what are you doing? How will you do it? You will ask, wat ben je aan het doen? Wat ben je aan het doen? So let's break down this question. Wat is what in Dutch. Ben je means are you. Ben is a conjugation of the verb zijn, to be. Aan het can be literally translated as on it in English. This might puzzle you a little, but aan het is a crucial part of this Dutch expression. Finally, doen is the verb to do. So altogether it is, wat ben je aan het doen? What are you doing? As you may have noticed, we already learned a similar question a few lessons ago, but it was slightly different. Wat ga je doen? Which means, what are you going to do? In fact, there are several other ways to pose the same question, but the most important thing is that all of them start with wat. The rule is simple. In Dutch, wat will always be the first word in the sentence when asking a what question. If you want to ask someone's name, you could ask, hoe heet jij? Which literally means, how are you called? But you could also say, wat is jouw naam? Wat is jouw naam? Here, wat is the first word, followed by is, which is the same as the English is. And finally comes jouw naam, which means your name. Asking what is this or what is that is as easy as in English. Just say, wat is dit? Or wat is dat? Wat is dit? Wat is dat? Also, we can use wat when we are asking about people's preferences. Wat is je favoriete eten? Wat is je favoriete eten? It means, what is your favorite food? I bet you already know the answer to this. You can use the phrase that we've already learned before. Ik hou van. I like. Now it's time for Gabriella's insights. On its own, wat is a heavily used expression in Dutch. Wat, like the English equivalent what, is used when you're really surprised. But you can also use it when you didn't understand what somebody just said. Wat? Be careful though. Wat is informal language, so you cannot use it by itself in formal situations. It's an incredibly practical expression to have though when you're around Dutch people. Before ending this lesson, let's look at one more use for wat, a question you will likely hear quite often in the Netherlands. What do you want? Wat wil je hebben? Wat wil je hebben? You will undoubtedly hear it when people are serving you food in restaurants, cafes, and so on. So remember it in case someone asks. In this lesson, we learned the Dutch word for what. It's a simple word, yet its usage is wide, and you might have a hard time remembering all the different questions you can ask. But don't worry, you just need practice. In the next lesson, we'll talk about the question word where. Do you know it already? I can promise it's just as easy as what. I'll be waiting for you in the next Nederlands in 3 minuten lesson. Tot ziens! Hallo allemaal, ik heet Gabriella. Hi everybody, I'm Gabriella. Welcome to DutchPod101.com's Nederlands in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Dutch. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask what questions in Dutch. This time, we are going to ask where questions. Imagine you want to ask where your friend is now. You will ask him, waar ben je? This is the exact translation of where are you? Waar ben je? So, let's break this question down. First we had waar, which is the translation of where in Dutch. Then comes ben, which is are, the present tense form of the verb zijn, which we've already studied. Finally, je, which is the word for you. So altogether it is, waar ben je? Where are you? In Dutch, where is translated as waar. So for example, if you want to ask, where do you live? You would say, waar woon je? Like English, the question word is placed in the first position here, then the verb, and then the subject. Like wat, meaning what, from our previous lesson, waar is just as easy, short, and practical. It shouldn't be complicated at all to ask questions with waar. Just remember that it is the first word in the sentence. So let's look at some questions that feature waar. Say you want to ask where you are going with your friends. It's as easy as saying, waar gaan we heen? Waar gaan we heen? You might remember gaan from one of our previous lessons. You can also ask where someone is from by saying, waar kom je vandaan? Waar kom je vandaan? Which means, where do you come from? Before ending this lesson, let's look at one more usage for waar. Say you were lost somewhere in the Netherlands and you want to know where the train is. To ask a stranger, simply stop them by saying pardon, excuse me, a word we learned in one of the previous lessons. Then ask, waar is het treinstation? Where is the train station? Pardon, waar is het treinstation? Of course, you can substitute het treinstation with any other place, such as the cinema, de bioscoop. The sentence wouldn't change at all. Waar is de bioscoop? And it's as simple as that. Now it's time for Gabriella's insights. When Dutch people have forgotten where they left something, they tend to ask themselves where they left it. Say your friend forgot where she left her keys. She would say, waar heb ik mijn sleutels gelaten? Where did I leave my keys? It's funny to hear them mumbling to themselves, but the sentence itself can also be turned into a practical question. If you switch the pronoun, you can ask others where they left something. Say you want to know where your friend left a book. Just ask, waar heb je het boek gelaten? Where did you leave the book? Waar heb je het boek gelaten? In this lesson, we learned how to correctly use the Dutch word for where, waar, and also its different variations. Now you can avoid getting lost. In the next lesson, we'll learn more about asking questions, this time using wanneer in Dutch. I'll be waiting for you in the next Nederlands in 3 minuten lesson. Tot ziens! Hallo allemaal! Ik heet Gabriella. Hi everybody, I'm Gabriella. Welcome to DutchPod101.com's Nederlands in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Dutch. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask where questions in Dutch. This time, we are going to ask when questions. Let's go. Imagine you want to ask when your roommate is coming back home. You will ask, wanneer kom je terug? When will you come back? Wanneer kom je terug? So let's break down this question. First we had wanneer, which is the basic translation of when in Dutch. Komen is the verb to come. Kom is in the present tense, as you might remember. Then je, which is the word for you. And finally terug, which is back. So altogether it is, wanneer kom je terug? When will you come back? So in Dutch, when is translated as the word wanneer. For example, if you want to ask, when were you born? It would be, wanneer ben je geboren? As in English, the question word is placed in the first position, then the verb, and then the subject. So let's have a look at another example. How can you say, when did you arrive? It is exactly the same pattern. Wanneer ben je aangekomen? First we have wanneer, which is when. The second word is ben, which is a conjugation of the verb zijn, to be. Used with the final verb aangekomen, which means arrived. This is the construction for a completed past tense action. Then we have je, you. If you want to ask a question about duration, such as since when have you been a teacher, you will have to say, sinds wanneer ben jij leraar? Here too, it's exactly the same as in English, because since is since. So, sinds wanneer means since when. Let's say you want to meet a friend. How would you ask, when shall we meet in Dutch? It's easy because you can translate it directly. It becomes, wanneer zullen we afspreken? Here we use the verb zullen, which means shall. So you can use it when you want to talk about the future. Then we have we, which is we in Dutch. And finally, afspreken, which is the infinitive form of the verb afspreken, which means to meet. But of course, there are also other ways to ask about time. You can even be more specific by asking about the year, the date, or the hour. For example, you can ask, when did you start working this month? Which will be, wanneer ben je deze maand begonnen met werken? Or, when did you travel last year? Which is, wanneer heb je vorig jaar gereisd? Now it's time for Gabriella's insights. To ask how long an action has been taking place in Dutch, we say hoe lang. It sounds a lot like how long in English. For example, hoe lang heb je gewacht? Which is, how long have you been waiting? In this lesson, we learned how to use the Dutch word for when, wanneer, and also a bit about hoe lang. Next lesson, we'll learn more about asking questions with who in Dutch. I'll be waiting for you in the next Nederlands in 3 minuten lesson. Tot ziens! Hallo allemaal, ik heet Gabriella. Hi everybody, I'm Gabriella. Welcome to DutchPod101.com's Nederlands in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Dutch. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask when questions in Dutch. This time, we are going to ask who questions. Imagine you want to ask your friend who the girl sitting behind him is. In this situation, the question you would ask is, wie is zij? Who is she? Wie is zij? So let's break down this answer. First we had wie, which is the basic translation of who in Dutch. Then comes is, which is, the conjugated present tense form of the third person of the verb zijn, which we have already studied. Zij means she. Altogether it is, wie is zij? So in Dutch, who is mainly translated as wie. For example, if you want to ask, who are these people, you will say, wie zijn deze mensen? As in English, the question word who is placed in the first position here and is followed by the verb and then the subject. Wie only works for people, so you can't use it to ask information about things or places. Wie can also be used to ask who did something, for example. If you're in a museum, for instance, you can ask, wie heeft dit schilderij geschilderd? Which means, who painted this painting? Another formula with wie that is used a lot is wiens. It's wie with ns after it. In this case, the meaning is different as it can be translated to whose. So if you want to ask, whose pen is this? You will have to say, wiens pen is dit? If we break down this question, it is wiens, which is whose, pen, which is pen. Then we have is, which is the present tense of the verb zijn, which you should know. And finally, dit, which means this. You can also use the word wie if you want to know who an item is for. We use the same word wie, but you place for in front of it. So it becomes voor wie. For example, you can ask, for whom is this piece of cake? Voor wie is dit stuk taart? Now it's time for Gabriella's insights. If someone that you didn't expect is knocking at your door in the Netherlands, the common question you can ask is, wie is daar? Before opening the door. This literally means, who is there? However, it's not all that common to ask this. Usually, Dutch people will say, hallo, with a rising intonation to indicate that it's a question. In this lesson, we learned how to correctly use the word for who, which is wie in Dutch. The next lesson will be the last one in this absolute beginner series. We will deal with the last common question word, waarom. So I'll be waiting for you in the next Nederlands in 3 minuten lesson. Tot ziens! Hallo allemaal, ik heet Gabriella. Hi everybody, I'm Gabriella. Welcome to DutchPod101.com's Nederlands in 3 minuten, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Dutch. In the last lesson, we learned how to ask who questions in Dutch. In this final lesson of the series, we are going to ask why questions. Imagine your boss is giving you a call because you are not at work today. He will certainly ask you, waarom ben je niet op je werk vandaag? Why are you not at work today? Waarom ben je niet op werk vandaag? Let's break down this question. First we had waarom, which is Dutch for why. Ben is the present tense of the verb zijn when you're asking a question. Je is the word for you. Then comes niet, which is not. Then op werk means at work. And finally, vandaag, which is today. Altogether, it is, waarom ben je niet op je werk vandaag? So in Dutch, waarom is the exact translation of why, and it's used to ask the reason for something. So for example, if your boss is asking you, why are you late today? He will say, waarom ben je laat vandaag? Here he uses why in order to get explanations and reasons. Let's look at some of the other uses for waarom. If someone says something you don't agree with, you can tell them, waarom denk je dat? Why do you think that? Waarom denk je dat? Or, if you are concerned about the train being late, you can ask someone, waarom is de trein laat? Why is the train late? Waarom is de trein laat? It sometimes happens in the Netherlands. The answer to these questions could be, ik weet niet waarom. I don't know why. Ik weet niet waarom. Now it's time for Gabriella's insights. A famous expression in the Netherlands is waarom niet, which means, as in English, why not? You can use it to accept a suggestion if you're not particularly excited about it, or if it was not planned in advance. For example, if a friend suddenly asks you, do you want to go to see a movie tonight? You can answer, waarom niet? Why not? This lesson is the last of this absolute beginner video series, but it's hopefully not the last you'll learn about the Dutch language. To take your language ability to the next level, check out DutchPod101.com, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Dutch. Dag!
Hey everyone! Welcome to your monthly review, the monthly show on language learning, where you discover new learning strategies, motivational tips, new study tools, resources, and where we show off learners like you speaking the language. That is, if you're brave enough to participate and become language learning famous. All the materials mentioned in this video are available for you right now on our website. Click the link in the description to sign up for your free lifetime account and start speaking in minutes. Okay, today's topic is why your worst days are the best days to study. So, have you ever had a day where you planned on learning language and you just couldn't go through with it? Even if learning a new language is your personal goal, something that you really want? Well, today you're going to learn 1. Why these bad days happen, and 2. Why you'll get your best work done on your worst days. Let's start. Why bad days happen with language learning. When I say bad days, I don't mean when you're too busy or when life gets in the way. These things are unavoidable. I mean days when you're just not in the mood. It's a perfectly good day, the sun is shining, no bad news, but you just can't get yourself to study. You're just wasting the day. So here's why they happen. First, it's the law of diminishing returns in action. What does this mean? Think of it as eating pizza every day for 5 days a week. On the first day, the first 2 slices are great, but by the third one, you're feeling queasy. It's not as good. And by the 5th day, you're sick of pizza. That's the law of diminishing returns, when the benefits start decreasing over time. And it happens with language learning. When you first start, you learn a lot of phrases and it feels good. You're excited. But as time goes on, you don't feel like you're learning much. And this affects your mood and motivation. So you're not as excited to learn anymore. So you start having bad days. Second, bad days happen because you overthink things and ruin it for yourself. It's like dreading going to the gym. Let's say you went yesterday. You have to go again today. So you're dreading it all day long. I gotta go again. You set yourself up for a bad mood and a bad day. Third, bad days are a natural part of the cycle. Some days will be good. Most days you'll feel indifferent. Some days will be bad. But that's completely natural, and anyone with long-term projects and goals feels the same. And fourth, you can't be on 100% of the time. So just like days can't always be good, you too can't always be on and ready to go all the time. Again, just a realistic and expected part of the journey. Now, let's jump into the second part, why you'll get your best work done on your worst days. So, why will you get your best work done? First, it's not that bad once you start. Once you've spent 10 or 15 minutes learning a language, it's not so bad. People say the same thing about the gym. If you show up and put in a bit of time, it gets easier. Second, it's overcoming a mental barrier. What I mean is, when most of us have bad days, our brain automatically says, okay, can't be done today. Stop, we're done. But if you just work through it, you don't take these bad days so seriously anymore. And that means you're more likely to stick with your language learning goal. This brings us to the next point. Third, it's your best work because working on a bad day only strengthens your habit of language learning. Remember, habits are what will help you master a language over time. If you can stick to a habit on a bad day, your habit only gets stronger, and it will lead you to fluency. And finally, fourth, it just feels good to overcome something. Imagine you have a bad day, but you still put in 10 minutes of language learning. It's a real sense of achievement. And it doesn't matter if you do a 10-minute lesson or a 5-minute lesson. The fact that you made some progress on a bad day will give you the motivation you need to keep going. Now, speaking of lessons, here are this month's new lessons and resources. First, the Best of 2018 Language Learning Cheat Sheets. If you want to get access to all of our conversation cheat sheets that we sent out this year, here's your chance. Download this PDF bundle right now. Next, the brand new Supermarket Cheat Sheet. With this cheat sheet, you'll learn must-know shopping phrases and vocab for meats, vegetables, and all products that you'll find in a supermarket. And finally, the most common adjectives. If you're a beginner and don't yet know these adjectives, then this is a perfect chance to boost your vocabulary. This 1-minute lesson will get them stuck in your head, guaranteed. To get these free lessons and resources, just click the link in the description below. All right, everyone. Now we're asking you to submit a video or audio file of yourself speaking the language. If you do, you'll win 3 free months of access to our learning program, which includes your very own teacher. Here's the challenge for you. Yes, everyone watching this. Record a 30-second to 1-minute video or audio clip. Introduce yourself in the language. Share your name, where you're from, and why you're studying this language. And you'll win a 3-month Premium Plus subscription. To submit, click on the link in the description. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Then, fill out the form. Attach the audio or video file, and press submit. We may feature you in next month's episode. So a lot of learners will see you and your progress, and will hopefully get inspired to improve and master the language. To submit a recording, click the link in the description and follow the instructions on the page. So thank you for watching this episode of Monthly Review. Next time, we'll talk about how to set achievable language learning goals and resolutions. In the meantime, submit your recording if you're brave. Like and share this video, and leave a comment to tell us what language learning tactics you'd like us to talk about. See you next time. Bye! You probably already have language learning goals, but the real key to success is to make the right goals. In this video, I'll show you how, with 5 tips to stop wasting your time and start learning. Hi everyone, Alicia here. In this video, I'll teach you 5 tips to stop procrastinating and keep your motivation for learning a new language. Some of these are study methods, and some will be general ways that you can keep your study motivation up. While these tips are for studying a language, some of them are good for other things in your life too, such as new challenges or other types of goals. But before we start, don't forget to click the link in the description to get your bundle of PDF cheat sheets, including survival phrases, romantic lines, learning tips, absolutely free. Now, you probably already have some goals you're trying to achieve when it comes to your language learning progress. While achieving these goals is important, making sure you make the right goals is the real key to success. The very first tip is to set SMART goals. SMART is an acronym, meaning each letter in the word stands for another word. The earliest known reference to SMART goals was in an article written by George T. Doran for a 1981 issue of the Management Review Academic Journal. The acronym varies depending on its use, but each letter generally stands for some criterion that helps with effective goal setting. For our purposes, let's define SMART goals as follows. The S stands for specific. Your goals should target a specific area for improvement. Our natural tendency is to have a goal that's very general. If your goal isn't specific enough, you'll lack the focus and proper direction you need to achieve your goals. So S is for specific. M stands for measurable. Your goals should be quantifiable. They should be able to indicate progress in some way. You have to be able to track your progress, otherwise you won't know if you're getting any closer to your goal. As you see yourself getting closer and closer to your goal, your motivation will go up. So your goals need to be measurable. A stands for achievable. Your goals have to be achievable. Many people want to become fluent in their target language immediately. However, this goal is unrealistic. Your goals have to be achievable. If your goal is too challenging for your current level, it will only demotivate you when you aren't where you think you should be. Instead, think about what results can realistically be achieved given your level, your resources, and any constraints, such as time. So make sure that your goal is actually achievable. R stands for relevant. Your goals may be specific, they may be measurable, and they may be achievable, but are they actually relevant to what you want to achieve? Don't just do a lot of things. If you're focused on improving your speaking skills in your target language, make sure that you spend your time having conversations with others. Make sure you're doing the right things so that your efforts actually bring you closer to your goal instead of just giving you more work. T stands for timely. You need to set a deadline for your goals. If you don't specify when you plan to achieve the result you've set for yourself, it's very easy to put off the task. You can delay it until tomorrow, the next week, or the next month, and at this rate, you'll never get things done. So your goal must have an end date. So remember, tip number 1 is to set SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So, for example, a goal you could make is registering for a challenging test, a test that's a little bit beyond your current level. I hate failing, so if I register for a challenging test, I'm motivated to study because I don't want to fail. This is a good example of a SMART goal because tests are specific. There are tons of different tests focused on speaking, grammar, and comprehension. Pick a test that can measure the specific area in which you'd like to grow. Measurable. Tests are measurable. Every test measures your performance to some degree. Whether it's a total count of right and wrong answers or a simple pass or fail, every test measures your performance. Tests are achievable. There's an important detail to remember here, though. Find a test that is achievable for you. If you're a beginner, then the most advanced test is probably not right for you. Find one that's meant for beginners. Then, after that one, work your way up to more advanced tests in the future. Tests are relevant. Most, if not all, language tests are designed to ensure that you're capable of performing to a set standard in your target language. Lower-level tests are designed to ensure that you can handle the most essential aspects of your target language. But there are tests for all levels, including higher education entry exams that could be difficult, even for native speakers. Pick the one that's right for you. And finally, tests are timely. If your test is completed in a physical location, then this one is obvious. You have to be at that spot at the set time, ready to take the test. There's no wiggle room. But even online tests will most likely have a deadline for you to complete them. The second tip to help you stop procrastinating and to keep your motivation up is to create a diary or social media account that you can update every day. This may seem simple or even unrelated to language learning, but by creating a diary in your target language, you have the chance to actually create in the language itself. Creating a diary is also a great way to practice writing in your target language. Another method is to create a social media account, which gives you the chance to connect with other people who are working toward the same goals as you. Maybe they can even give you feedback on your writing. If you're following people online who regularly share good resources, those can be really helpful for you too. It lets you find new tools that can encourage and motivate you, especially if they relate to some of your other interests, such as music or books in other languages. This is a really good way to take a few minutes every day to work towards your goal, without it even seeming like work. The third tip is to focus on understanding a specific TV show or movie. Try to watch a movie in your target language without any subtitles, or try to understand your favorite TV show that's in your target language. If you don't already have a goal like this, it can be a fun way to practice. If your friends often talk about a particular TV show, it could be a good way to study and a fun way to keep your motivation up together. Plus, TV shows and movies often use the language in a way that's vastly different from the conversations provided in traditional textbooks, so you often get to hear different vocabulary choices. It's a very powerful way to learn a language and end up sounding more like a native speaker. Tip number 4 is to enroll in a regular language course. Register for something you have to go to or you have to participate in regularly, meaning every week or 2 times a week or maybe even every day. The point of this is it's something that gives you a pattern to follow. Forming a study habit will help you progress very quickly. It will make it easier for you to achieve your language learning goals. Once you form the habit, you won't even have to think about starting each time. It'll just be natural. Have something that you must take responsibility for. You'll be more motivated to continue if there are others, especially classmates or a teacher, watching you progress. Look for resources inside your community, and if there are no opportunities there, look for things digitally. You can find many of our videos on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course, our entire video and audio lesson library on our website. The lessons on our website also come with assignment courses, so you can test your knowledge. The last tip is to make your goal public. Share your goal. Tell people about your goal. For example, if you want to give a business presentation in your target language this year, then tell your colleagues or your boss about it. Some people may find what you're doing interesting, and they can support you. This kind of pressure can help push people forward who have trouble motivating themselves alone. By telling others about your goal, you'll feel more accountable. Because you told somebody that you were planning on doing something, there's an underlying sense of guilt if you don't accomplish the task. You may feel that you have failed your peers in some way, even if there's no direct pressure from them. Using this technique, you can push yourself into moving forward toward your goal, especially at times when you feel the least motivated. And that brings us to the end of our 5 tips to stop wasting time and start learning a language. We've talked a lot about how to set goals for yourself and think about new challenges. First, I told you about creating SMART goals. Remember, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Registering for a test is a great example of a SMART goal. Next, we talked about keeping a diary or social media account in your target language. Start doing it right now, even if you're still a beginner. Then, I suggested that you focus on understanding a specific TV show or movie. Pick something in your target language that you really love, because you may need to watch it over and over again until it all makes sense to you. And next, we talked about enrolling in a regular language course. This will give you something concrete that you must take responsibility for. Finally, make your goal public. Tell someone about your learning goals to keep you accountable for them. You're much less likely to abandon your studies if you have friends asking you about your progress. I hope that these are useful tips that you can use to reach your language learning goals. And before we go, let me remind you to download tons of free PDF lessons to learn the language the fast, fun, and easy way. Just click the link in the description. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and share it with anyone who may find it useful. Do you have any good tips that you've used to help you reach your goals? Share them in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.
I love you.
Ik hou van je. Ik hou van je.
I'm having a great time.
Ik heb een geweldige tijd. Ik heb een geweldige tijd.
Would you like to dance?
Zou je willen dansen? Zou je willen dansen?
Where do you want to go?
Waar wil je heen gaan? Waar wil je heen gaan?
You look great.
Je ziet er geweldig uit. Je ziet er geweldig uit.
Can you come back later?
Kunt u later terugkomen? Kunt u later terugkomen?
Sorry, we're completely booked.
Sorry, we zitten volledig vol. Sorry, we zitten volledig vol.
We'll give you a call.
We bellen u. We bellen u.
I'll leave it up to you.
Ik laat het aan u over. Ik laat het aan u over.
Is the water too cold?
Is het water te koud? Is het water te koud?
Is this your first time with us?
Is dit de eerste keer bij ons? Is dit de eerste keer bij ons?
Do you like it?
Vind je het leuk? Vind je het leuk?
It looks great.
Het staat geweldig. Het staat geweldig.
I have no money.
Ik heb geen geld. Ik heb geen geld.
I want to go here.
Ik wil hier naartoe. Ik wil hier naartoe.
I'm looking for this place.
Ik ben naar dit op zoek. Ik ben naar dit op zoek.
It takes 3 to 5 business days.
Het duurt 3 tot 5 werkdagen. Het duurt 3 tot 5 werkdagen.
Could I have a statement, please?
Mag ik een verklaring alstublieft? Mag ik een verklaring alstublieft?
I'd like to exchange money.
Ik wil graag geld omwisselen. Ik wil graag geld omwisselen.
I'd like to make a withdrawal.
Ik wil graag geld opnemen. Ik wil graag geld opnemen.
I'd like to make a deposit.
Ik wil graag geld storten. Ik wil graag geld storten.
Sign here, please.
Hier tekenen alstublieft. Hier tekenen alstublieft.
Go back.
Ga terug. Ga terug.
Are there any annual charges with this account?
Zijn er bij deze rekening jaarlijks bijkomende kosten? Zijn er bij deze rekening jaarlijks bijkomende kosten?
I'd like to open an account.
Ik wil graag een rekening openen. Ik wil graag een rekening openen.
Does this hurt?
Doet dit pijn? Doet dit pijn?
I have a cough.
Ik heb een hoest. Ik heb een hoest.
I have a stomachache.
Ik heb buikpijn. Ik heb buikpijn.
I have a headache.
Ik heb hoofdpijn. Ik heb hoofdpijn.
I have a fever.
Ik heb koorts. Ik heb koorts.
It's already full.
Het zit al vol. Het zit al vol.
About 2 weeks.
Ongeveer 2 weken. Ongeveer 2 weken.
Is there something wrong?
Is er iets mis? Is er iets mis?
I'm here to visit family.
Ik ben hier op familiebezoek. Ik ben hier op familiebezoek.
I'm here on business.
Ik ben hier voor zaken. Ik ben hier voor zaken.
I'll stay at the Central Hotel.
Ik verblijf in het Central Hotel. Ik verblijf in het Central Hotel.
Have you ever been here before?
Bent u hier eerder geweest? Bent u hier eerder geweest?
It will snow on Friday.
Het gaat vrijdag sneeuwen. Het gaat vrijdag sneeuwen.
Tomorrow will be sunny with showers.
Morgen wordt het zonnig en buiig. Morgen wordt het zonnig en buiig.
Tomorrow will be sunny.
Morgen wordt het zonnig. Morgen wordt het zonnig.
What's the temperature?
Wat is de temperatuur? Wat is de temperatuur?
Is it hot in the summer?
Is het heet in zomer? Is het heet in zomer?
What's the weather like in winter?
Hoe ziet er weer er in de winter uit? Hoe ziet er weer er in de winter uit?
There will be heavy rain in the evening.
In de avond zal het hevig regenen. In de avond zal het hevig regenen.
There will be thunderstorms in the afternoon.
Er zullen in de middag onweersbuien zijn. Er zullen in de middag onweersbuien zijn.
A storm is coming.
Er komt een storm aan. Er komt een storm aan.
It will rain in the afternoon.
Het zal in de middag gaan regenen. Het zal in de middag gaan regenen.
What bad weather.
Wat een slecht weer. Wat een slecht weer.
It's been raining all day.
Het is al de hele dag aan het regenen. Het is al de hele dag aan het regenen.
Want to speak real Dutch from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at DutchPod101.com. I'm sorry.
Het spijt me. Het spijt me.
Don't worry.
Geef niets. Geef niets.
It's okay.
Het is in orde. Het is in orde.
Please?
Alstublieft. Alstublieft.
Please forgive me.
Vergeef het me alstublieft. Vergeef het me alstublieft.
I really appreciate it.
Ik waardeer het ontzettend. Ik waardeer het ontzettend.
Thank you.
Dank je wel. Dank je wel.
You're welcome.
Graag gedaan. Graag gedaan.
Make yourself at home.
Doe alsof je thuis bent. Doe alsof je thuis bent.
Hello.
Hallo. Hallo.
Good morning.
Goedemorgen. Goedemorgen.
Goodbye.
Tot ziens. Tot ziens.
Long time no see.
Tijd niet gezien. Tijd niet gezien.
Good evening.
Goedenavond. Goedenavond.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Het spijt me dat ik u heb laten wachten. Het spijt me dat ik u heb laten wachten.
Wait a moment.
Een ogenblik geduld, alstublieft. Een ogenblik geduld, alstublieft.
Awesome.
Gaaf. Gaaf.
Delicious.
Heerlijk. Heerlijk.
I like it.
Ik vind het leuk. Ik vind het leuk.
I don't like it.
Ik vind het niet leuk. Ik vind het niet leuk.
How are you?
Hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het?
What time is it?
Hoe laat is het? Hoe laat is het?
Nice to meet you.
Leuk je te ontmoeten. Leuk je te ontmoeten.
Really?
Echt waar? Echt waar?
I don't understand.
Ik begrijp het niet. Ik begrijp het niet.
It's difficult.
Het is moeilijk. Het is moeilijk.
Once again, please.
Nog een keertje alstublieft. Nog een keertje alstublieft.
Slower, please.
Langzamer alstublieft. Langzamer alstublieft.
Good afternoon.
Goedemiddag. Goedemiddag.
Good night.
Goedenacht. Goedenacht.
I'm good.
Ik voel me goed. Ik voel me goed.
How have you been?
Hoe is het met je? Hoe is het met je?
This is for you.
Dit is voor jou. Dit is voor jou.
How old are you?
Hoe oud ben je? Hoe oud ben je?
What is it?
Wat is het? Wat is het?
What's your phone number?
Wat is je telefoonnummer? Wat is je telefoonnummer?
Where are you from?
Waar kom je vandaan? Waar kom je vandaan?
Where do you live?
Waar woon je? Waar woon je?
Help.
Help! Help!
It takes about 30 minutes by train.
Met de trein duurt het ongeveer 30 minuten. Met de trein duurt het ongeveer 30 minuten.
I want a bottle of water.
Ik wil een fles water. Ik wil een fles water.
I live in Los Angeles.
Ik woon in Los Angeles. Ik woon in Los Angeles.
My vacation starts in 2 weeks.
Mijn vakantie begint over 2 weken. Mijn vakantie begint over 2 weken.
I've changed.
Ik ben veranderd. Ik ben veranderd.
I won't do it again.
Ik zal het niet meer doen. Ik zal het niet meer doen.
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
Dit weekend ga ik naar de film. Dit weekend ga ik naar de film.
What are you doing this weekend?
Wat ga je dit weekend doen? Wat ga je dit weekend doen?
I'll have time next week.
Ik heb volgende week tijd. Ik heb volgende week tijd.
I'm busy this week.
Ik ben deze week druk. Ik ben deze week druk.
Ready to start?
Klaar om te beginnen? Klaar om te beginnen?
Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools.